Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Dallas, aka Infurness, and welcome back to another episode of TheTekkitRealm. And thank you for clicking on this video today. Welcome back to another episode of TheTekkitRealm Story Time with Dallas, aka Infurness. Another magnificent story to tell today. So today, this is going to be a different story I've never told on my channel. Obviously, I wouldn't tell a story I've already told on my channel, but this story happened in 8th grade when I was in a predicament where they thought that I was a threat to the entire school because of an obvious bullshit claim, but yeah, that's what this story is going to be about. So I don't know how old a normal 8th grader would be, but I'm presuming an 8th grader should be around the age of 12 to 13 years old. But who knows, I was like 12 or 13 or something. But just imagine a 13-year-old human individual in the situation as I tell the story. So, this happened on the date of March 13th of a couple years back, and I was in my 8th grade class. This was main 8th grade class, and there's the school was set up in blocks, so there's a block schedule. There's 3 classes, but there's homeroom, so I was in my homeroom class. And then I'm just gonna nickname the teacher Miss Bullshit because it's gonna suit the story real well. So Miss Bullshit was just going over a lecture of how college was extremely important for 8th graders, because 8th graders definitely care about college, and how everything in life is based off of our college degree, which is also bullshit, just so you know, but just pointing that out. Anyway, Miss Bullshit decides to get all of us into groups, so we're going to be separated into our own individual groups of about 3 or 4, but I was in a group of 3, and so yeah. So I just happened to be set into this group full of 2 other people that I had no interest in whatsoever. I had never met them. I didn't even know their last names. Didn't even know part of their first. I don't even know how to spell their first name. But this one individual decides to comment on my career choice for the future. So I went last, and after the 2 people went over what they wanted to do with their life, I decided to go. Just to give you a little bit of insight, these 2 people basically wanted to become physicians or doctors or whatever. I don't remember exactly. They wanted to go to USC, some other college like Stanford, University, whatever. I don't even know. But then I decided to go, and I essentially told them that I wanted to become a successful YouTuber as I grew up. I wanted to be an internet entrepreneur. And I didn't necessarily want to go to college because I didn't think college was necessary for what I wanted to do in life. And I basically gave some evidence on why this was true and why I wanted to do it, because it was my passion. Basically, I had a YouTube channel. It wasn't that big of a thing for me back then, but I did do it. And I explained to them that I one day wanted to become a famous YouTuber, or at least a successful one. And that's what I wanted to do when I grew up. So after we had all shared, the teacher, Ms. Bullshit, decided that it was time for us to comment on each other's career choices. I have no idea why she wanted us to do this, but so that happened, and everyone started discussing, and luckily I got the individual who decided to make a comments on my career choice, which was rather demeaning and rude and harsh and ignorant and naive and all these other words I could possibly go on and on for. But this individual said something around the lines of, YouTube is a waste of time, you're wasting your life in front of a computer screen, you're not benefiting humanity, and you're gonna die alone. Something around those lines. And that's pretty much what this person said to me. And at the time, didn't have that much common sense, but I did have enough common sense to realize that what this person had said to me was extremely ignorant, extremely rude, and extremely harsh. It pretty much insulted not only me, but everyone else who worked hard on the internet to improve, this online community. So what I did was I stood up, literally, and I basically I said, you know what? You're acting like an asshole right now, and what you just said was bullshit. You just insulted everyone on the internet who works and tries to entertain people, and you really need to rethink your life if that's how you're going to be trying to feed back on someone else's career choice. And that's essentially what I said, and I was lucky enough to grab Ms. Bullshit's attention while I was doing this. And the first thing she said, she interrupted the entire class. The entire class went silent. She basically yelled at me from across the room on her desk, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And then I was just like looking at her because I was in this state where I was standing up. I was leaning over the desk. I may have appeared like I wanted to hit this person, but I was in no means going to do that. I had no intention to. Why would I? I mean, I just wanted to explain this person's mindset and why it was completely wrong and why they should reevaluate themselves. That's all I was doing. I was in no way threatening them whatsoever. But Miss Bullshit decides to come over here, grab me by my arm, and drag me physically outside the classroom. And at the time, I did not know that teachers were not allowed to touch students in this way because, it's it's illegal. You can't do that in the state that I was in, and I presume that you're not allowed to do that in any state in the United States. But this teacher physically drags me out of the class. The whole class is silent, just looking at me. The only person in the class who wasn't just looking at me with a shocked face was the individual that I had just confronted, who was laughing at me as I was being dragged out of the class. She basically told me, as she was walking me down the hallway with her hand gripped on my arm extremely tight, she was like, "You cannot threaten people. I'm taking you to the principal's office." So, obviously in this situation, I guess you can tell at this point why I'm calling or nicknaming the teacher Miss Bullshit. But anyways, going on with the story, the teacher decides to pull out her phone, which at the time everyone had flip phones, and literally call the vice principal on her flip phone. And she told the vice principal that she had some sort of delinquent with her, and she was sending me to her office. I didn't hear exactly what she said, but I knew it was about me in some way. She hung up the phone, and then she continued to take me to the vice principal's office. Once we got there, she went into the room, she sat me down forcefully, and she just basically half yelled and half just talked loudly, screamed, whatever, to just sit there and wait. And then she locked the door behind her, and I just waited there for about 5 minutes, thinking to myself how bullshit the situation was, until 3 people walked into the room. So it was the principal, the vice principal, and then a freaking cop. A freaking goddamn cop. A police officer with a badge walked into the room like I was some sort of terrorist or some crap. And this cop not only was just walking into the room, but this cop for some reason felt like it was necessary to have his hand gripped against his freaking gun. This cop walked into the room looking at me like I was going to fucking blow up the school or something. So basically the first thing the principal said to me was, well, he sat down first and the vice principal sat down, and the cop was just standing in the corner of the room like just watching us have a conversation. The principal was like, "You do realize that you can be arrested for threatening someone's physical demeanor, right?" And I was like, yeah, sure, but that's not what I was doing. What the freak are you talking about? Basically said, yeah, but I didn't do that. So the principal was like, yeah, sure, but we've had multiple instances where students have threatened other students and they've been taken away to juvenile detention centers. Yeah, and then the vice principal started talking and saying, the reason why we have a police officer in here is because we want to monitor your behavior from this point on. So I wanted to tell my side of the story, and basically what I said was that this person had insulted not only me, but everyone else who works hard on the internet to entertain people or market their products on the internet, works hard, well, regardless, just because their job includes being in front of a computer screen. This person decided to rudely and ignorantly insult everyone who decided to do that as a career, and I just stood up to what I like doing and to also defend everyone else. And at the end of the day, they just told me that they would have to call my parents and tell them what happened, and essentially I ended up getting suspended for 2 days. I may have done this in a more physical fashion, but I was just trying to redirect this person's mindset, not necessarily in a friendly way, because I was very upset about what this person said to me. You would have thought that they would have gotten the other person's side of the story as well. You would have thought that they would have brought him into the office as well and asked them what exactly happened. But no, they didn't even bother to do that. They didn't even bother to get that person's point of view. They didn't even bother to even ask that person what happened or even address that person. That person got away scot-free, and I had to be suspended. And, yep, no evidence other than that was shown. It was like, you're guilty, and there's nothing you can do about it. We're not even going to take any evidence. We're not even going to go after the other person who's involved in this story. We're just, yep, we're going to suspend you for no reason. And, yep, that's that. If you're in 8th grade, you're watching this video, please don't decide to be in a teacher's class and then stand up against your rights, because you are not entitled to that, apparently. If you do like this video and you do like my content, make sure you go ahead and support me. Go ahead and leave a subscribe or jackhammer the like button, whatever you feel is necessary. Maybe leave a suggestion in the comment section what I can do better in the next one. And I'll see every one of you guys in the next video. Goodbye.